Hello guys, I'm at Comparative today, but it's raining hard outside. To make this video a run through of the hind limb musculature ng cat, which many of you haven't had the chance to completely dissect yet. So I'm just going to show you the muscles in the hind limb ng cat that you need to study for the exam. So this is demo cat, the dorsal aspect of it. Okay, we're at the dorsal aspect of our demo cat. And in general, to introduce you, the hind limb musculature serve to move either the thigh bone, or the shank bone and the foot at the hip joint, the knee joint, and the ankle joints. Right, so let me show you first this beautiful skeletal specimen that we have of our cat. Right, so there are muscles obviously dito sa hind limb, and some of them move the femur at the hip joint, either abducting it away from the midline or towards the midline adduction, or flexing it or extending it like so. And then there are also hind limb muscles that operate on the shank, the lower leg, either extending it at the knee joint or flexing it. And then the muscles here at the shank will insert on somewhere on the foot to move the foot or the toes, the hind digits. Right, so let's go back to our demo cat for the run through proper. Let me fix my camera. So you start dissecting the hind limb of the muscles of the thigh, and start at the dorsolateral aspect of it. Immediately you'll see a thick white aponeurosis or fascia here. So let me show the undissected thigh first. So this is what it looks like. You see there's a white fascia there, that's fascia lata. And if you go anterior from the fascia lata, you'll see this triangular muscle here inserted on the fascia lata. So that's tensor fascia lata. So this is what it looks like when you have already dissected the fascia lata. You're going to rip it apart so you can see the deeper muscles later on. But that's fascia lata, and the tensor fascia lata is inserted on it, tightening the fascia lata. That's its action. And then the next muscle, this one, large muscle at the back side of the thigh, is the biceps femoris. The biceps femoris, and it has a thick aponeurosis as well, broad aponeurosis inserted on the tibia, which you will have to remove later on. This is biceps femoris, and it's still inserted at somewhere in the knee, in the shank. And you're going to dissect its insertion so that you will be able to reflect biceps femoris like so, to reveal the deeper muscles we will later identify. So after biceps femoris, you go anteriorly and identify the three butt muscles, the gluteus muscles. The posterior most, just anterior to the biceps femoris, is caudofemoralis. Caudofemoralis. Right? So it's one of the muscles that extends the knee, extends the shank like so, and it can also abduct the thigh. But if the leg is fixed, it can also wag the tail, serve to flexing the tail. So caudofemoralis, and just anterior to it is this muscle called the gluteus maximus. But as you can see in the cat, it's not that maximus, it's not large, but it's named after the human counterpart. In humans, the gluteus maximus is the largest butt muscle. And then anterior to it and larger Then the gluteus maximus is the gluteus medius. Gluteus medius. Right, so those are the three gluteus or butt muscles: podofemoralis, gluteus maximus, and gluteus medius. And then from dorsolateral surface, you move medial. And then you'll see superficially are these two muscles. This is one and this is two. Right? This is what they look like if they are still undissected. This long band of muscle is sartorius. It's also inserted on the tibia and contributes to the tibial fascia aponeurosis covering the lower leg, which you will have to dissect in order to reflect like so. And then the next superficial muscle in the medial side of the thigh is gracilis. This is gracilis. Gracilis, and it also contributes to the fascia of the shank covering it, and you will also have to dissect its insertion, cut it so that you will be able to reflect gracilis. And then after identifying those two, superficially you reflect them to reveal the deeper muscles in the medial side of the thigh. And then again, that's tensor fascia lata. And then just medial to it is this huge muscle. It's actually composed of 4 muscles. From the lateral side is vastus lateralis, this one. This cylindrical muscle in the middle is rectus femoris. And this one, more medially, is vastus medialis. Makes sense, right? Their names. And the fourth one, I said there are 4 muscles comprising these huge muscle, is deep to these 3 muscles, and so you have to dissect one of them, rectus femoris, and reflect. And the muscle immediately inside. That's vastus intermedius. So there are 4 muscles: vastus lateralis, vastus medialis, and rectus femoris. And then the muscle inside, after reflecting rectus femoris, is vastus intermedius. Together they form the quadriceps femoris, or the quads, that allow you to extend the knee, extend the shank like so, straightening your leg as when you are getting up from a squat position. So the quads. As you can see, it's kind of shaped like a hot dog sandwich, the hot dog in a bun, as sometimes it is jokingly referred to by anatomists, right? And the 2 buns is the vastus lateralis and vastus medialis. The hot dog is the rectus femoris, and there's the secret bun inside the vastus intermedius. Okay, it's a quads. Then move medially, you'll see the adductor muscles underneath gracilis. There are 2 adductor muscles in the cat. This one, more anteriorly, is adductor longus, and this entire thing from here to here, although it looks like 2 muscles, it's just 1 muscle. It's the adductor femoris. And then move posteriorly. Let's shove away the saphenous veins and arteries. This one, starting from here to here, is semimembranosus. So this is semimembranosus. And then again going around the thigh and posteriorly, this is biceps femoris, and then posteriorly, the posteriormost muscle in the thigh is semitendinosus. So we just went around the thigh, gracilis, adductor longus, adductor femoris, semimembranosus, and then this is semitendinosus from this aspect, and then you turn the cat around, this is still semitendinosus, that is semimembranosus peeking out from this side. And then there's another muscle deep to the biceps femoris, and it's a slender ribbon-like muscle. This one. Let me zoom in. So this one, a slender muscle which shares the same insertion as the biceps femoris, and actually closely opposed to the biceps femoris. This slender muscle is tenoissimus, so don't confuse it with this thicker structure here. That's a nerve, that's sciatic nerve, you'll study in the nervous system unit. But this one is a muscle, tenoissimus. Okay, tenoissimus. By the way, the biceps femoris, the semitendinosus, and the semimembranosus there, forming the posterior-most muscle of the thigh, is sometimes also called as the hamstring muscles. In general, they flex the shank, flexing the shank at the knee. So they're antagonistic to the quads, right? And then after, those are the muscles of the thigh, in the thigh region. So you move more posterior, more distant, to the shank muscles. So the shank muscles are the muscles that move the foot at the ankle joint or the digits, the toes. And so start dorsolaterally again, and start from this bone here, that's a tibia, and move laterally, immediately lateral to the tibial bone there is tibialis anterior, and then move laterally. This muscle beside tibialis anterior is extensor digitorum longus. And then move more laterally. The next set of muscle, these guys, these are the peroneus muscles. There are a few peroneus muscles, but we won't specify them, won't dissect them into their individual components. Suffice it to say that these are the peroneus muscles. Okay, and then move laterally, and you'll see, reflect the biceps femoris for a better view. The calf muscle. So there are three calf muscles. The one most visible is the huge gastrocnemius muscle. And the gastrocnemius muscle has two heads. The one visible from the lateral side is the lateral head, and there's a medial head visible on the medial side. Medial head of gastrocnemius. The second calf muscle is underneath the gastrocnemius. This is soleus muscle. Right. And the third calf muscle is more visible in the medial side. Again, this is the medial head of gastrocnemius, and if you reflect it, deep to it is the third calf muscle, the plantaris muscle. And as you can see, the gastrocnemius, the plantaris, and the soleus muscles, all three tend to converge on the same tendon and insert on this bone here, the heel bone, calcaneus. Right? And by inserting on the heel bone, when they contract, they can extend the foot like so, towards this direction. Right? And then you proceed to the medial muscles of the shank. Again, this is the tibial bone. And if you move into that direction medially, the muscle that you will immediately see is the flexor digitorum longus. flexor digitorum longus. And the next muscle requires a bit of a delicate dissection. Its belly is not visible superficially, and you need to look underneath deep to the flexor digitorum longus. So see, this is flexor digitorum longus. Flexor digitorum longus. At first, it looks like this is just a single tendon. That's a great focus. But it's actually made up of two tendons. This is the tendon of flexor digitorum longus, and the one beside it is a longer tendon. And if you trace it proximally, this tendon, you'll see that it's connected to a muscle belly up there, deep to the flexor digitorum longus. And this tendon is actually that of the tibialis posterior. So again, superficially, flexor digitorum longus. And the long tendon beside it is the tendon of the tibialis posterior, whose belly is up there, hidden, tucked beneath the flexor digitorum longus. Right? And again, this is plantaris, medial head of gastrocnemius. And those are the muscles of the shank. Just review their origins, insertion, and action by reading a textbook. Just a quick pahabol. I wasn't able to show you some of the muscles peeking out from underneath the biceps femoris. So if you reflect biceps femoris, there are a few muscles visible, suddenly coming into view. And this one is just vastus lateralis. Initially also covered by the fascia lata. The fascia lata, remember, this is the tensor fascia latae. And that huge muscle is the vastus lateralis. And then another muscle coming into view posterior to the vastus lateralis. That one is adductor femoris, seen from this view. So that's adductor femoris. And that's it. And then move posteriorly, this muscle here is already semimembranosus. The semimembranosus, and this one is semitendinosus, tenuissimus, and then biceps femoris.